Got the new TV. Cracked a beer. Happy birthday, Dave. Happy birthday, Gage. Life is good. It's an LG TV. I had to say that. Well, another blustery day in the north means I'm going to be plowing the driveway later. But today is a special day. Today is January 14th. And you guys know I've done a lot of videos lately on Dave. And Dave has been trying to come through with message. And it just clicked in my head today. In the last video, it said birth again. And we were talking about Dave saying in the previous video that he was mentioning reincarnation. Well, what if he's just talking about his birthday? Because today is Dave's birthday, and it's not just his birthday. It is Mr. Gage's birthday. Both of them shared a birthday. We talk about weird coincidences, but dates and numbers and things like that. Dave's birthday was January 14th. When we went to get Gage, she told us that she only had one puppy left and that his birthday was January 14th, which was Dave's birthday. So I always think these things are not coincidence. Up until that point, we were adamant we weren't getting any more dogs, and then we ended up with Gage, and he shares the same birthday as Dave, who had passed away a couple years before. So it's kind of a reminder to us. So anyway, what I think we need to do is just briefly, because I am working right now, my wife thinks I'm doing office stuff. We're going to take a 10-minute break. I just want to run a Spirit Box app just for a couple minutes to see if Dave says anything about his birthday. Let's grab the phone and do this. So as you guys can see behind me, my wife now has my TV in her living room, and I'm waiting. My new TV is supposed to be delivered today, so we'll see if they mention that at all. Okay, here we are, January 14th, Gage's birthday, Dave's birthday. Dave, do you want to come through? Just a few nights ago, I had another box pushed off the shelf, guys, and when we asked who was doing the physical stuff at the house, Necrophonic said, clear as day, it's Dave. So Dave, were you just trying to remind us that your birthday was coming up and that we should have a beer and celebrate for you? So here we go, we turn it on, and I tell you guys every time we do a session who the regular players are that are going to come through. And of course, the first one is Doug, and it's always Doug. And then it says Black from our murder case. Nothing new there with either of those. Doug is visiting Black. It says help us. So it's like we're getting dual messages at the same time. One from a friend and one from a case that we investigated. And why does the box keep saying these things over and over? Because they keep coming here. They're not done with me in terms of the murder case. I don't know what to do there. I just have to accept that they're here around me all the time. And as for Doug, he's trying to make amends for stuff he did while he was here on this physical plane. I think I've forgiven him about 90%. I've had to move on. What choice do I have? But they keep coming through. Again, not who I'm trying to contact, but here it is. The phone is saying names of our regulars. Yes. And for the new people, I have to state equivocally that the answers you guys see on the screen are as recorded. I do not cut and paste, an answer from 5 minutes from now. No, whatever we are hearing is what they've answered to what I ask. And it has always been that way. And the strange thing is, guys, from day one, shiver down the back of my neck right now, I've never worried about doing this and presenting a video, which is a story, essentially, because I know they're going to tell a story every time. Intuitively, I know they're going to communicate, and I just go with the flow of what they say. It may not be the answer to my question that I get, but it's something that's going to lead us down another rabbit hole, and we're going to get more pertinent answers in regards to the next question, even if they pull me off track. So this, again, is just to remind you guys, it is as recorded. Do you want to wish somebody else a happy birthday that may share this day with you? Who would that be? I ask who shares a birthday with you, and the reply is Gage. Now, it sounds like it says, I am Gage, which is confusing to me, but it clearly says Gage's name. Then the next thing I hear is it comes in, it says Grant and Robin. And this is a case of sometimes the answers that come back are faster than what we would speak. And if you don't really listen, you almost lose the Grant. So I'm going to play that 3 or 4 times in a row for you guys, just to show you that it is there. It says Grant and Robin. Grant is my brother. Robin is his wife. Why would the box say their names just randomly out of millions of names that it could say? I mean, it's already said Doug's name, right? It's already said Black's name. It says Gage's name. The only name it hasn't said is the person I'm actually trying to communicate with, and that's Dave. Did you push the orange box off the top shelf in my closet the other night? I heard it say the shelf. Okay, what were you trying to tell me? Beer. Okay, there can be no doubt that Dave is coming back. It just said it again. This is the 3rd video where it's talked about reincarnation, birth again, and now it says coming back. Beer. I was going to say I heard beer, but I just heard it again. So Dave loved his beer. He brewed his own beer for years. Dave, are you saying we should have a beer and toast your birthday? Bob. I paid no attention to that and I continued on with my session. But it's going to come up again, so I'm just leaving that little piece in there for later. Bob, remember that. It's not the first time we've heard this Bob come through. Should we buy a cake and have Mum over and toast you with the beer? Bob. Who's Bob? We've also heard Bob in a lot of videos, over the last season, especially when they were talking about my daughter. What's the connection there? Say my daughter's name. It did say my daughter's name, but not the daughter I was thinking of. In my head, I was thinking Kaylee, it's going to say Kaylee. It said Hannah. Oh, there's the first shiver, guys, which is unusual. I hadn't even thought of that. I did not get a shiver till right now. It just said Dell, which was my great-grandmother's name. So this is the second time that it's said my great-grandmother's name in this video. And the first time was in response to the question is, what is the connection to Bob? And then it said Dell. Well, I'm going to explain all that to you in the video because intuitively I know exactly what they're talking about, and I didn't get any of this message here that just passed me by where it said my grandmother's name again, then it said my dad's name, and then it said don't sell. Well, we're having a land dispute, which I will explain because I talked about it while filming this session. So is great-grandma here? Yes, full shivers down my neck. Grandma, do you have a message? Is the connection to Grandma Dell, Bob, my great grandfather was Robert, was his first name. Bob, possibly. Is that the connection? You know, we've talked about this before when we did Spirit Box sessions at the graveyard that he's supposed to be in, but we couldn't find his gravestone. There's no headstone. And it was saying that my daughter was Bob. It said it on 2 different phones running different apps, one in the truck and one out in the cemetery with us at the same time. My dad's name? So for those of you that are new, my brother lives on the property that my great-great-grandparents originally farmed back in the 1930s. And we are the 5th generation to own that property. And I don't know, there's some connection here. I get a feeling intuitively that there is a connection here. They're talking about Grant. Said my dad's name. So we're all, well, we're not fighting. My dad is fighting with Grant and I because he gave us the inheritance, which was the property, and then I gave Grant my half, and my dad didn't like that. I don't think the grandparents would have had a problem with that because my dad's plan meant that we would have had to sever that property in half, and then it would have been split. And over time, when that happens, as generations go on, the properties tend to get smaller and smaller. So the more I thought about it, for me, the best solution was to keep the property one whole 158-acre chunk. We lost 2 acres due to a squatter who got squatter's rights, and we had to cut 2 acres off in the 1940s and give it to this guy, sell it to him. So we're down to 158 acres, and my solution was to keep it as a whole, give it to Grant, and then he would just, take care of it over the next 30 years that he's there, right? I don't live out there. It just made more sense for him to have it all. My dad doesn't agree or understand that, but I don't think my grandparents would have had a problem with me solving the problem by giving the property just to Grant. Good plan! Okay, so we started this session on Dave, and then other family names kind of came through. I always feel like we're connected, but I don't feel that I get any particular answers or a driving message from them that it's super important that they're trying to get something across. I think it's more a feeling to me that they watch over us and that they want us to know that they watch over us. They just want acknowledgement that they're still here. The family is still present and that they're part of our lives. If there was something important that you could change by telling us, would you? All right, and I'm going to end this video with the simple message then. Happy birthday, Dave. I was going to ask about the cat. I was going to try one more time to get them to say the cat's name that just passed away, my mom's cat. Can you say the cat's name? I didn't catch it, but it said the cat's name, Fritz. So, I'm going to ask again. What was the cat's name? Say it real clear. That said my brother, who is now my sister, that said their name when they were my brother, Joel. What's Joel's new name? That just said the cat's name. Fritz. My mom called the cat Pudbear. I don't know why, but the cat's name was Fritz. Dave, do you have a message for Mom before we go?
I reach across the greatest void of time and space, death, separation, universes, for you to give a message to my mom, and it's drink milk? What the hell?
All right, so there it is, guys. An impromptu session, I guess, on Dave, mostly on Dave's birthday. So there are other things that came through. I have to analyze it to see what was said, but I believe we are surrounded by family all the time, even family that we may not have known in this lifetime, because I didn't know my great-grandparents or my great-great-grandparents. Della was my great-grandmother. Robert Seth Hazard was my great-great-grandfather. That's her dad. He would be the one named Bob. And, so I wonder all the time, ever since that incident in the graveyard where it was saying that Kaylee was Bob, is Kaylee reincarnated? I've heard varying stories that he was mean to the family, and then I've heard stories that no, he wasn't. I'll never know, and he doesn't seem to want to come through. There are some spirits that come through all the time. My great-grandmother Della, she comes through all the time. Grandma, just to show that, can you come through and give one final message for us? I heard it say Dell and visit. Bob. So there's another mystery there about Bob that I need to solve. That's for another day, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.